It's time to focus on the positive, guys. There's too much negative news, but so many positive things are happening and no one is really talking about them. But there is a website called the Progress Playbook. I'll put a link to them in the description. And they focus on what's really happening, not the doom and gloom that you're hearing from the media, which is probably brainwashing a lot of people. Here's a quick synopsis of some of the positive things that have been happening. Uruguay's electricity has been fully 100% renewable for the last 10 months in a row. Australia has broken new records with solar, wind, and batteries. And we're on track for growth in battery storage of 4,600% over the next 12 months. China's government says it'll expand the nation's emissions trading system to cover more industries amid a broader decarbonisation push. I'll get to that in a second. That's actually more important than it sounds. UN nature talks ended with a global goal of mobilizing $200 billion a year by 2030 to rebuild the climate and to reverse biodiversity loss. $200 billion a year. That is a huge amount of money. Vietnam is revising its energy plan to focus more on solar and less on coal and gas. South Africa imported 3.3 gigawatts of solar equipment in 2024, bringing the total of the past 3 years to 10 gigawatts. A study by the UK's Climate Change Committee has found that the country can reach net zero emissions by 2050 by investing just 0.2% of GDP each year on decarbonisation. The UK can hit net zero by investing 0.2% of GDP. London Mayor Sadiq Khan has started consultations on his plan to pedestrianise the famed Oxford Street. Clean energy and transport investments in the United States reached $272 billion in 2024, a 16% increase from the previous year. Now, those are things that Trump can't cancel. They've already happened. The United States will retire 8.1 gigawatts of coal-fired power generation capacity this year, double the amount that they closed in 2024. I should just repeat that. The United States are going to close down twice as much coal power this year as they did last year. And that's a lot, 8.1 gigawatts. The IEA says wind, solar, and storage will make up 93% of new power capacity that will be replacing that old coal in 2025. Greek authorities aim to add 3.6 gigawatts of standalone battery capacity to the power grid over the next 6 years. Very exclusive event here in Newcastle. Saturday, the 15th of March from 3 to 5 p.m. I'll be speaking here with just a couple of other speakers. Very small event. So you can meet me in person. You can actually have a look at my EV as well, the Xpeng G6. Test that out. I'll put a link in the description below to the event. I believe that the tickets will probably sell out very, very quickly. So if you're from Sydney, from Brisbane, from Newcastle, make sure you click on that link as quickly as possible to get in. I think there's only around 30 tickets left at this point in time. I'll put that link in the description and I'll see you there. China is looking to effectively eliminate severe air pollution by the end of this year by ramping up massive investments in clean transport, machinery, and heating, among many other climate measures. In fact, China is installing the equivalent to 5 nuclear power plants worth of solar and wind power every single week. China's emissions per unit of GDP fell 3.4% in 2024, per the National Bureau of Statistics. And many experts say that China has already rocketed past peak coal and peak oil. Electric car sales in China this year have grown by a staggering 50%. Considering China hit 50% in terms of entire sales in the country last year, 50%, 1 in 2 cars sold was electric. Well, 50% growth says this year, China could hit 70 to 80%. Portugal, Greece, the Netherlands, Germany, Spain, the UK, and Ireland are also leading the transition to wind and solar. Of those, Portugal is expected to move the fastest in the years ahead. it's on track to get above 90% renewable power by 2030. Chile is likely to breach the 90% mark by the end of this decade, along with Australia. By 2030, 10 countries will reach or surpass the 66% wind and solar level, and 19 could have more than half their electricity produced from just wind and solar alone, says the IEA. However, a handful of countries have already reached or are about to reach 100% renewables. Those include Norway, New Zealand, Iceland, Costa Rica, Kenya, Bhutan, and Paraguay. In the first 9 months of 2024, wind and solar accounted for 72% of all power in Denmark. So, my friends, actually, the world is probably trending in the best direction we possibly could have hoped for, considering the current political climate, considering everything that's happening with Ukraine, Russia, the current political climate in the United States. If we look at the world as a whole, things are actually going exceptionally well. Not perfect, but hey, let's focus on the positive. The 4.1 kilowatt EcoFlow DELTA 3 is a battery that I received a couple of months ago from the company themselves. And I thought to myself, how can I best use this? Now, for one, of course, if you're, say, like my parents, you're retired and you're traveling around, you've got a caravan, or you're doing a lot of camping and hiking, then this battery is absolutely perfect for you, particularly for camping, particularly for caravans. But in my situation, I've used it for numerous other purposes. One of the things I've actually begun using it for is charging my sauna, or charging our sauna that Shanna uses, which is really, really good for her chemotherapy, for her cancer treatment. And saunas are just awesome in general. But hey guys, I'm just in the one-person sauna right now. It's a one-person infrared sauna. You can get one of these really cheap. In the United States, you can get one for about $1,000 US. In Australia, about 1,700 Australian dollars. In Europe, similar. I mean, obviously you guys have some great saunas in Europe, but these little infrared saunas, they're great because they use a small amount of power, a lot less than your steam sauna. But when the sun's gone down, there's no more solar powering my house. I don't have a home battery. So what that means is I have to pay to run my sauna when the sun's gone down. So what I do is I simply connect my sauna to this battery pack, and it's free to use my sauna at nighttime. The question is, how long will it last for in a sauna? What other uses can you use it for? Is this something actually worth your money? Will you get your money back? Is it a good investment? Here's my thoughts on this, and here's some other ideas for things you could potentially use it for.